Begin tonight with breaking news out of Charleston. More fallout from the controversy over its former police chief. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Barren. Well, the West Virginia Division of Forestry and other agencies are suiting up for a training course this week with the goal of preventing wildfires in the hopes of not only saving infrastructure, but also saving lives. We've been telling you about Jaden Sayer. He's a recent Ravenswood High School graduate. He was nearly killed in a hit-and-run incident 3 months ago.
In Israel.
You got to feel helpless as you watch all of this. 13 News reporter Jordan Meade has more on how the tragedy is affecting people here at home. Sam, the track is very close to the Hurricane Police Department, which made it convenient this morning for first responders. Team coverage continues this evening in Cedar Grove, where the elementary school opened, all while renovations continue. And students tell us they could hardly notice. That's where we find 13 News reporter Sam DeCoste. Sam, it sounds like kids are happy to be back in class. So it's been a little more than 24 hours since those comments were made during a live radio interview on a station in Cincinnati yesterday when the coach used a homophobic slur. And the whole situation has left many people upset. Others are standing by their coach. 13 News reporter Rachel Pellegrino talked with people about their thoughts on the situation and found there's no shortage of opinions. He is counting on continued prayers for firefighters injured while on the job. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Barren.
And I'm Pat Simon. One had a sprained ankle, the other much more serious issues.
Yeah, the two young men were at a place that originally burned last week. That fire rekindled over the weekend. Jordan, it's no shortage of fun and no shortage of people having fun. From the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center with a look at today's action. Cassidy, you can feel the excitement in downtown Charleston because there are people everywhere. As these flames continue to spread, this building is no longer structurally sound. We can tell you that the roof has collapsed, and we are seeing more of that smoke, the smoke and flames coming into that fourth floor of apartment units that are there. The good news tonight, everybody is safe. And we continue our breaking news coverage this evening as crews continue to battle a massive fire at the Regal Apartments on Canal Boulevard in Charleston. Good evening and thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Amanda Barren. This video is just into the newsroom of the Regal apartment building, coming down as crews say it is a total loss after a fire gutted the building this afternoon. It started just after 3 o'clock. Crews have been on the scene ever since. Again, all of this just into the newsroom as portions of the building come down. We were on the air live with you this afternoon as that roof collapsed this afternoon, and now we're watching as pieces and parts of a building that's quite old and one of those places that you always saw on Charleston's Canal Boulevard. A beautiful old building where there were 37 apartment units that people lived, tonight is destroyed by fire. We don't know what caused the fire, but what we can tell you tonight, the most important thing is that everyone made it out of that building safely.
1 year ago, this very spot, this street, this entire town was filled with water. Relentless rain poured over eastern Kentucky, and the catastrophic storms claimed more than 40 lives. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Barren in Wayland, Kentucky.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Spencer Atkins. Now, this is continuing to recover from all of that rain.
1 year later, there is still plenty of work to be done. 13 News anchor Andy Bernhardt explains what some people say they need still 1 year later to finally return home.
Team coverage continues tonight to try and answer that question. Rachel Pellegrino and Mark Curtis are standing by with more on how people are coping in the cold and what resources are available to those who need them most. But first, Sam DeCoste joins us live from the city of Charleston's west side at the location where the outage began. And Sam, we know that a water line burst and it flooded the gas line nearby. The question tonight, just how badly were the lines flooded?
Let's talk a little business. We just heard a report from Mark Curtis about the U.S. Postal facility that could potentially close in the Kanawha Valley. Talk a little bit about what you've been doing today to stop that from happening.
We've been on the phone all day long, okay, and I'm trying to get a hold of the Commissioner DeJoy, and we will sit down and talk about this. They're telling us all just basically skeptical, and they're looking at things and different things. We've heard that before, so we've got to make this thing stop before it starts any further than that, and there have to be good reasons to even move this thing, but we are doing everything humanly possible. I'll work with the rest of our delegation, but we're going to be on top of this.
There are many postal employees who fear that it's a foregone conclusion. What do you say to them tonight, especially ahead of the holidays?
They told me that before. You know, the last time they were talking about that, and they start taking a lot of the machines out, and we were able to turn that around. So I would hope that we're able to do the same here, but we're not going to give up. And please, don't let it ruin your holidays. Let's wait and see what we can do, and we'll be getting more news to you eventually as quickly as we can.
Andy Bernhardt.
And I'm Amanda Barren. We are live in Barren at Mingo Central High School, where the community is gathering this hour in droves to pay their respects to West Virginia State Police Sergeant Corey Maynard, who lost his life in a shooting on Friday night near Matewan. We're just seeing it's the noon hour now when the public visitation is beginning. We just saw the first bus come from the shuttle lot filled to the brim with people, and we're continuing to see members of law enforcement make their way
from as far as Tennessee. We were just speaking with two.
Jordan, thanks. And just to give everybody some perspective of the crowd that has shown up here within the last 10 or 15 minutes, it's actually a little overwhelming to see so many cars. And we're now
bus
on our
loads
third
are making their way in.
And we'll be able to show you that here as they make their way past. But these buses are full of people. The football field is behind us, and it's about a quarter of a mile, I would say, from where we are sitting right now. So the video that you're seeing at this time is the procession, the funeral procession, as it made its way up the hill here at Mingo Central High School. I have to say, Andy, that the weather truly matches the mood here today. It's a little dark and somber, and I think that you can honestly say that it all fits. Today it's a very delicate.
And everyone we've been speaking with, they're saying they're happy to show their support, but it is hard to be here and see another fallen hero in the West Virginia State Police.
Much more coverage from here as the community gathers to honor Sergeant Corey Maynard, a West Virginia State Police trooper killed in the line of duty on Friday.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back after the break.
I did just check in with West Virginia Governor Jim Justice and his team, and they tell me that he met with the family privately before the ceremony and offered condolences. Sergeant Maynard would have been 38 next month. He leaves behind a wife and two children, 13 and 9. During the ceremony, the governor remarked at the outpouring of support for Sergeant Maynard from law enforcement across the country who were in attendance today. Places like Houston, Texas, from southern Florida, Louisiana, all walks of life there today to pay their respects. Here's more of what the governor had to say earlier today. He's a daytime Emmy winner, a New York Times best-selling author, and he is a graduate of George Washington High School right here in Charleston. Tonight, the country roads have led him home. Connor Knighton joins me now. Connor, thanks for being here.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to be back.
You are used to being on the other side of this.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Right, for the correspondent, as a correspondent, I should say, for the CBS Sunday Morning Show. Such a beloved show. Welcome home.
Thank you.
What's it like to be home and have this opportunity to talk with kids who were once in your shoes?
I mean, this time of year especially.
Oh, yeah.
It's especially a great time to be back in West.
The people who are at the lower level might say, hey, there's a little big brother going on here. And we're being watched, but people who have power over us.
And the body camera does allow you, the one we went to, there's a part of the car called the Rocket, whether you have the dash camera, the body worn camera, or a combination of the two. And the brains of the organization is part of the car. It's called the Rocket. Yeah, and it will show you where someone's at, whether they're at West Virginia or Myrtle Beach.
But somebody who is the lower rank might feel as though...
I could see that. I probably would have said that when I was TFC back in 1992 or 3 or something like that. But that's a money thing. You roll it out to for the people that's representing you with the public.
For your troopers, your lower ranking troopers who are out there, who might feel some of this mistrust, who might think, I have some concerns about this. What is your message to them?
There's nothing to worry about on the senior staff whatsoever. I mean, like I said, these to answer your question earlier, I haven't seen anything at all that's removed any trust from anybody.
We begin tonight with a story that everyone's talking about, and you just have to see it to believe it, but just bear with us. You're going to want to hear this one. A Nicholas County school principal is sharing his story after that bear jumped out of the dumpster behind his school, startling him and sending him sprinting. But to be fair, the bear did the same. 13 News reporter Rachel Pellegrino has been in Nicholas County all day long talking with the Zila Elementary School principal and students about the incident that has people across the country talking. And we want to talk about something else. It's a very, very special night for us here at 13 News because we have the opportunity to introduce, and in some cases reintroduce, our new colleague who happens to be a familiar face to many of our viewers, and he joins you right now.
That's right.
Yes.
Heavy tonight in Charleston.
Little did Pat know we were throwing such a huge party for him tonight. We'll all be down there in a little bit. Pat, we're really glad that you're joining us.